Well, we get into the next year, 83. You end up doing an interview, and they asked you about missing a dunk, and you said, now I know what it feels like to be white.
One of the worst things I ever said, probably. But, it was a statement said out of pure jest. I
Yeah.
was just joking. There was a lot of reporters around, and one took it and ran with it. But I don't think those were the appropriate words. But, I said it. I have to live with it. But what can you say? I mean, I don't miss dunks, and it goes back to that movie that was out, White Man Can't Jump, and
Oh, okay.
that was kind of like thinking along those lines. But it was something that I regret that I even came out of my mouth, and then I had to live with that. But that is not a true statement because Tom Chambers, Danny Vrains. There's so many talented dunkers in the NBA that are not black. And Tom Chambers was probably one of the best, man. I mean, this guy jumped it. He got an iconic dunk jumping on somebody. So, yeah, that was a statement that shouldn't have been said. And thanks for bringing it up, Vlad. Some bad memories.
Well, you make it to the finals in 84 against the Boston Celtics with Larry Bird. How'd you feel coming into this?
You know what? It was not so much about Larry Bird, but it was about the Boston Celtics because as a young person growing up, the Lakers could never beat the Boston Celtics. What made it a special rivalry is that Magic and Bird had come into contact in college.
Right.
So they brought that. And you know what? I'll say this. When those two came into the NBA in 1980, they changed this league single-handedly, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. And, you can't say one name without saying the other because they truly were a combination that the basketball gods meant to come save the NBA. I really believe that and they were put on the appropriate teams. Could you see Magic playing in Boston and Bird in LA? You couldn't see. I couldn't see that.
No, no.
They would have made them better, because they were good players, but it just didn't go together. Larry in Boston, Magic in LA was competitive matchup made in heaven. So when we finally we get an opportunity to see the Boston Celtics, I don't think we were really, really ready for what they were about to bring to us. And losing that first year against them it was hard only because I felt the pain that Magic, his is his rival, and Magic couldn't beat him. He had beat him in college, but now he couldn't beat him. So I felt, this is me, I don't know what the other guys felt, I felt I had let Magic down. And so it was about a vengeance coming back. And that old saying, iron sharpens iron, Boston was the sharpest tool in the box, and in order for us to beat them, we were going to have to become sharper.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a really physical game. Game 4, Kevin McHale, clothesline, Kurt Rambis, big brawl broke out. And in general, and I've interviewed a lot of NBA players, Boston is somewhat of a racist city when it comes to basketball games, especially. Like, were you called racist terms and stuff like that while you guys were playing?
Called all kind of names coming into Boston, especially when they beat us. And I mean, you know what? I don't think Boston, the team, was racist.
Yeah.
I think the city obviously was
That's what
racist.
I'm saying.
But that's the way it was. That's the way it was going to become. So we're so lucky that nothing really, really blew up out of that outside of the basketball court, because that could have been a big issue. But we didn't see it as that. We just saw them as competitors. My best friend, Dennis Johnson, who passed away, DJ was my best friend. Grew up in Los Angeles, grew up playing basketball with him all these years, and now he was on that team. And this is how serious I took it. When the season was on, DJ could not say anything to me because I might have punched him, or most of the time we didn't even talk. He would come up to me in the game, "Hey, Coop, what's up?" And I would look at him like he was a stranger. But as soon as the season's over with, I love his wife Donna. Hey, Coop. So that's how serious that Celtic-Laker rivalry was. So at that time, when they started beating us, it was like beat LA was the chant. Boston suck was our chant. And when we went into the Garden and they beat us, and I remember when they won the championship, all the people came out on the court. And it was literally, I was not fearful for my life, but I didn't know if those people were coming out to hug their players or to attack us. So it was just a mad dash to get out of there. But you know what? It was still fun basketball, and it took a rivalry to a whole nother level, and that's why to this day, so many people. Yeah, you have different champions: Denver, OKC, Boston back then, but people want to see a Boston Celtic Laker NBA Final championship matchup.
Well, yeah, I mean, after Boston won, that was the 8th time in a row that Boston had beaten the Lakers in the finals.
Yep.
It's just a jinx, pretty much.
Well, we thought we were jinxed, and we thought, I had always been told there was a leprechaun that sits up on the basket, and he knocks away our shots. One of the iconic shots in the '60s is Don Nelson took a shot against the Lakers, and the ball hit the back of the rim, and the ball went 2 feet over the backboard and came straight down. So those are the kind of things you're starting to think about, and now it's something we have been watching, but now we're a part of it. I'm out there on the court, so. But you know what? That only made it fierce for 1985 because you know what? When Boston beat us, yeah, that set the fire, and we were ready.